Final Fantasy IX has made a large impact on the RPG genre. Through its innovative storytelling and character development, the story as a whole is one that explores life, death, and identity, really examining one's own mortality. I personally feel that this is the best game in the series that deals with all of these topics so delicately and is able to handle them largely due to the relatable cast. Each character is going through some form of internal crisis, something that everyone deals with in one way or another. It is because of the way the characters are designed by art director Hideo Manaba and written by Hironobu Sakaguchi that they have made a lasting influence on not just the genre as a whole, but also a generation of gamers. It is over the course of Final Fantasy IX's 25-year history that it has overcome many obstacles, reaching cult status as a fan favorite. But why is this? It's simple. It is the best example of what Final Fantasy is. Final Fantasy IX was not only the last Final Fantasy game on the PlayStation 1, but it also acts as a series watershed, by taking the best of everything before it and presenting it into one package. We saw the return of knights, castles, and airships that look like boats. We saw the return of Yoshitaka Amano's influence as an original character designer. This game would also be the last game solely composed by series veteran Nobuo Uematsu. It's through all of these moving pieces that we see a timeless story truly earning the namesake of Final Fantasy. Let's talk about all the moving pieces in this story. Our story begins in the kingdom of Alexandria. It's here that we are introduced to Zidane, who is a member of a group of thieves known as Tantalus, who are tasked by the regent of Lindblum to kidnap the princess of Alexandria while putting on a Romeo and Juliet style play called I Want to Be Your Canary. It's during these moments that we are introduced to many key characters in the story. First, the player takes control of Zidane, a confident and reliable member of Tantalus and a ladies' man. Next, we are introduced to Vivi, a young black mage with exceptional skill and timid demeanor as he explores Alexandria leading up to the performance put on by Tantalus. As the plan is in motion, we meet Garnet, the princess of Alexandria, which upon both the player and Zidane's surprise, actually wants to be kidnapped and go to Lindblum to speak with the regent about her mother, Queen Bronze's, rather erratic behavior and decision making. However, not all goes as planned, as Steiner, captain of the Knights of Pluto and sworn protector of the princess, rushes to her rescue. After an intense and exciting sequence that shows off how intense and comical this game can be, the four unlikely heroes find their paths converge despite having opposing motivations. This dynamic creates an entertaining structure that carries the story from beginning to end. Zidane begins as a confident and charismatic thief, driven by a desire to protect his friends and a somewhat naive optimism. However, as he learns about his origins, he experiences an identity crisis, prompting him to question his place in the world. Vivy begins the game as a timid and self-doubting character, hesitant to use his magic. Through his experiences and interactions with the party, particularly Zidane, he gains confidence and becomes more assertive, even courageous in the face of danger. Garnet's character arc is driven by her desire to understand herself, find her place in the world, and protect those she cares about. Through her journey, she transforms from a sheltered princess into a powerful and independent woman. Steiner begins as a character who blindly follows orders, even when they lead to injustice. His character development involves questioning these orders and recognizing that true loyalty lies in protecting the innocent, not just blindly obeying authority. Of course, along the way, other members join the party. As he reaches Lindblum, and Zidane is wandering around the city, he runs into an old friend, Freya. During the story, Freya experiences immense loss with the destruction of Bermesia and her love interest Sir Fratley's memory loss. She demonstrates resilience by continuing to fight for her ideals and loved ones. While the game doesn't fully explore all aspects of her character, she matures through her experiences, becoming more accepting of her circumstances and finding ways to move forward. Upon some shenanigans, the party is split and our party of Zidane, Vivi, and Freya head to the neighboring kingdom of Bermesia. Along the way, they are greeted by Quina. Quina's sole purpose is to kind of act as the comic relief, but also act as a foil for characters in moments of personal crisis, often by simplifying their issues with a perspective of an outsider and showing them maybe they shouldn't be as wrapped up as they currently are. Towards about the halfway point, the party, reunited, travels to an unknown continent. The party runs into Eiko, a young mage living with Muggles. Initially joining the party out of curiosity and a crush on Zidane, her journey involves her learning more about her heritage and finding a place within the larger world. Then, during an attempt to return Garnet home, we run into Amaranth. At first an enemy of the party, his journey from a lone wolf focused on proving his strength and independence to someone who begins to value companionship and teamwork. What's important to note is that every character has a reason to join the party. On the surface you could argue, yeah, that's the whole point, but this cast of mainline characters has the strongest growth in the whole franchise. Breaking it down, their impact on the overall narrative should be the gold standard. But the main character I'm going to talk more in depth about is Vivy. From the very start, we see the world from his viewpoint, despite not being the first character we take control of. Starting his journey, he just wants to see a play. Throughout the story, he comes face to face that he was manufactured for the Black Mage army under Alexandria's control, and dubbed as the prototype. Essentially coming face to face with an identity crisis, seeing many of them die in front of him. Along the player's journey, you come across a village of Black Mages who gain sentience and escape to form a hidden village. It is here that Vivy learns everything about his kind and that his time is finite. After accepting the reality of his own mortality and getting through the trauma, his resolve strengthens, using what time he has left to stop the war and keep those who have a place to call home safe. What's interesting is that each character has this growth and development, exploring things like morality, identity, and a place to call home. It's because of the writing by Hironobu Sakaguchi and direction of Hiroyuki Ito that this story has a lasting impression on not just the franchise, but me personally. Each character has a motto or mantra that they live by, often giving a deeper look or meaning into that character, but also shaping me. You don't need a reason to help people. Doing what is right instead of following orders. Finding a place to call home. Which leads me to this game's soundtrack. Final Fantasy IX is the last soundtrack solely composed by Nobuo Uematsu. While I don't hate any of the music that he co-composed on future installments of the franchise, in my opinion, Final Fantasy IX is the best work he's ever done. It celebrates the franchise's rich history with nods across the series. Also returning are character themes that were completely missing from Final Fantasy VIII. These help breathe even more life into these characters' personalities. Take Steiner's theme, for example. It has a forced seriousness that is silly and hard to take seriously. Zidane's theme has an upbeat, positive energy and conveys being adventurous, much like the sneaky little thief that he is. I cannot think of a single song on this soundtrack that I don't like. But the one thing that really drives it home is the song Not Alone. It's a song that plays when Zidane, after learning of his origins, begins to have an identity crisis and reject his friends. But through their support and determination, he overcomes it, much like he had done for every member of the party. This song and moment are so iconic that it even got its own card as part of the collaboration with Magic the Gathering. Final Fantasy IX has an enduring legacy and a passionate fanbase. From the Memoria project, the fan art, and to the speedrunning community, with many who have played it claiming that it is their favorite in the franchise, or even their favorite game. To me, that's both. I often get criticized for just how many times I've purchased this game, and the best way to put it, it's a place to call home. Throughout the game's 25 years, I have replayed it numerous times, each time getting back in touch with myself after I've lost my way and remembering that I'm not alone. None of us are. So if you haven't yet, I highly recommend picking this game up for yourself, or at the very least, wait for the highly rumored remake. But at the very end of the day, just remember that you don't need a reason to help people.